An entire year passed, and maybe the strangest part of all is not the time that went by, but the feeling that inside, almost nothing moved. You look back and you see movement. You see full days, you see effort, you see attempts, you see small decisions, adjustments, changes of direction. You didn't stand still, and yet, when you look at your life, this is the feeling. I didn't move forward, not because nothing happened, but because nothing seems to have taken you somewhere different. It's a hard feeling to explain, because if someone asks how your year was, you know how to answer. You worked, you tried to improve, you started new things, you let go of others, you survived difficult days, you kept going. But deep down, there's this sentence that keeps echoing, quiet, persistent. I did so much, but I'm still here. And this here is not a physical place, it's an internal point, an emotional position, a silent repetition, the same kind of worries, the same kind of exhaustion, the same feeling of always starting and never arriving. The most painful part of all this is that you can't call it total failure, because failure at least feels definitive. This doesn't. This feels like suspension, as if life were on hold, running, processing, but not advancing to the next level. And that is confusing, because you don't know whether to push a little longer or accept that something isn't working. You don't know if the problem is the path or if it's you. You start asking questions you didn't want to ask. Am I fooling myself? Am I trying the wrong way? Did I waste time? Should I be somewhere else by now? And none of these questions come with clear answers. They only come with weight, a weight that isn't visible, a weight that doesn't appear in photos of the year, a weight that doesn't fit into a quick conversation, because when you try to explain it, it sounds like ingratitude. After all, you have things, you have life, you have better conditions than many people, so you stay quiet, and you carry this feeling alone, the feeling that the year passed, but you're still in the same place as before, maybe even a little more tired, a little more cautious, a little less enthusiastic, not because you gave up, but because you learned. You learned that trying costs something, that creating expectations hurts, that starting over requires more than willingness. Each new attempt carries the marks of the previous ones. Each new plan comes with a silent question. What if it's like the other times? And no one talks about that. No one talks about the exhaustion of trying again, about the weariness of keeping hope under control, about the fear of investing energy into something that may not lead anywhere. People talk about persistence, about strength, about not giving up. But almost no one talks about what happens when you don't give up and still don't move forward. That in-between place, that space between trying and arriving, between dreaming and achieving. That's where many people get stuck. And it's not because of lack of character. It's not laziness, it's not inability. Sometimes it's because something inside you froze without making any noise. It didn't freeze as a breakdown, it froze as protection. After so many attempts, your body learns to defend itself. Your mind learns to ration expectation. Your heart learns not to jump in completely. And that changes the way you move through the world. You keep doing things, but you do them with the brakes on. You keep trying, but you try without fully surrendering, not because you don't want to win, but because you don't want to be disappointed again. And that creates a cruel paradox. To move forward, you would need to risk more, but to risk more, you would need to endure the possibility of one more disappointment. And no one taught you how to deal with that. So you keep going, you keep working, you keep fulfilling obligations, you keep existing. But inside you feel like something stayed suspended in time, as if the year passed around you, but not through you. And that hurts in a very specific way. It's not explosive pain. It's continuous pain, a quiet frustration, a discomfort that doesn't scream but doesn't leave either. You start comparing yourself, even when you try not to. You look at people who seem to have moved forward, who changed their lives, who made big decisions, who made it, and you wonder where you went wrong, but maybe that's not the right question. Maybe the problem isn't that you didn't move forward. Maybe the problem is that you're trying to move from the same version of yourself that is already exhausted. Maybe you're demanding progress from someone who is still recovering, because no one talks about that either, about the time it takes to recover inside. Life doesn't move in a straight line. It moves in cycles, in invisible phases, in processes that don't show up as results. Sometimes the year that looks stuck on the outside was a year of survival on the inside. A year in which you learned how to stay standing, how not to collapse, how not to give up completely, and that counts. Even if it doesn't earn applause, even if it doesn't produce visible achievements. You are not behind for feeling this. You are not wrong for being frustrated. You are not ungrateful for wanting more. You are human. And humans don't evolve at a constant pace. They move forward, fall back, freeze, observe. Sometimes staying in the same place is the way life prepares you not to get lost later on. Maybe this year wasn't about arriving. Maybe it was about noticing limits, noticing patterns, noticing what no longer works, noticing what weighs you down, noticing what no longer makes sense, and noticing hurts, because noticing strips away the illusion of easy movement. But it also creates awareness. And awareness, even when it doesn't change anything immediately, changes the way you look at yourself. Maybe you are not in the same place as before. Maybe you're in the same external point, but with a different internal gaze. And that is not nothing. If you're in this place right now, pause for a moment, breathe. Not to decide anything, not to plan the next step, not to pressure yourself. Breathe to remember that you are not alone in this feeling. Many people spent an entire year trying. Many people did what they could. Many people reached the end of the year with this same question in their chest. You did not fail. You did not waste your life. You did not lose everything. You are simply in a point where movement has not yet turned into results. And that does not diminish you. Today may not be a day to move forward. Today may be a day to hold yourself right where you are. And that too is care. You don't need to do anything with this right now. You don't need to decide. You don't need to change. Just acknowledge the year passed. And you are still here, and for today that is enough. Take care.